Hello everyone, just wanted to come here to give you an update on how the plot garden's looking. If you're new here, my name is Mari and I'm gardening in Queens, New York City. So I just got the time to measure all of this. And this space we have is about 800 square feet total. So the raised beds are actually 6x4 and I have 10 of them here. I have already taken the time and amended all of the soil here. And what I did, I put a fresh layer of compost on these beds over here. You can see where the compost is on top of them, so they kind of make a little bit of elevation. What I call beds, I have measured them last year, put a little pathway in between so we don't step on the place for planting, and made it's a little hard because of the sun there, but it's kind of like elevated so you can see where they begin and they end. And this side here I have done a bit of a different approach. I put some cardboard in the bottom and then I put some compost on top, and same thing, I have some of the little pathways where we can see where the beds are and go through so we can harvest from each of the sides. You can also see that I have already planted some things in here, but they are really not doing well. Those are all cold weather crops, but I actually planted them here just a week before a really bad cold front came, and even though I covered, you can see there's walkovers there in the back. They just didn't seem to be doing very well. They seem always stunted. A lot of them were started at the same time as the cool weather crops in my backyard, and the ones there are doing a lot better. If you have watched the previous videos, you see how big they are. So with that said, I don't think it's worth that I keep trying to see if they're gonna do well here. I think I made a mistake by planting them here on that week. I'm probably gonna take a lot of them out now and just plant with some warm weather crops, because the weather is warming up for us here in New York. I looked at the next week weather forecast, and almost every night for the next 10 days are above 50s. I think we have a couple that are 48 or 49. But I think I'm going to chance it anyway and probably try to plant something in here this week. Most of my plants have been acclimating in my backyard already, so I'm going to use all of this space that's already all prepared to put in some new seedlings. If we take a closer look here, the soil looks really dry. I had a really hot day today. I'm going to water the soil even if I'm pulling them out. This is a broccoli, and this is just so small. I just really don't think that it's going to be a good idea to leave them here. This kale, even though it's very small, it's looking a little nicer. Doesn't have any purple on it, doesn't look hurt or anything, so I might leave the kale just to see, but I'm definitely going to be planting a few other things in here. On this bed right here, you can see too that the plants have been kind of nibbled or snipped off. I don't know if it's a bird that comes with a beak and just take that out, but all of them, they're kind of growing from the side, but they have been all that want to damaged from the animals that come here. So these here on the last bed, they don't look like they have been nibbled or anything, but they are stunted, so they are definitely gonna go away. But check this out, this the peas. I planted some peas seeds here. I have some extra seeds when I was planting in my backyard, and they all came out. I think because they're close to this cloth too, and I covered them, so nothing have seemed to be damaging them yet. So let's see how they're gonna do. Very soon I'm gonna take these out so they're able to grab to that fence and then grow up over here. I'm also making an effort to take a better care of the compost in here. Hopefully this year this will actually be a compost pile. I have kind of turned it. I put everything that was here on that side. The soil is really dry now, but I came here this morning and actually watered this pile. I've been watering every day, and I'm going to turn it again tomorrow, turn it back here. Hopefully that will help speed up the process a little bit. And also I kind of have some stuff from last year here too. I'd be also watering this side, but I was just thinking if I should like chop this up with a shovel or something and try to use as mulch. I don't know. I'm going to think about it. So this is how the plot looks all together. That last bed there, let's take a walk. This one here is a bit shaded. You can see there's a tree here. The sun rises over there and goes right behind these buildings and then sets there. So definitely gets shaded on this side during the day. But what I'm going to try to do here is try to do a little maybe herb garden or medicine garden, something that can be kind of shade tolerant, and just experiment and see. I put this cardboard here just because I had a lot of weeds growing just in this side, and I just decided to put this in here to see if I can kind of stop them. The bag's not too bad. Over there too, I just planted a cover crop. I put some clover that I hope that comes up. Let's check if there's anything. Yeah, it looks like there's some of them already coming up, and there's some thyme, there's some creeping thyme that comes up here. There's some violets, but I'm going to leave them here and not really planting anything. I'll leave this to just cover the soil through the summer. And this up here, it's a fig tree that's also starting to wake up. There's even a little fig in here. Sorry, the light's really bad now, but look at that. And a lot of little nodes waking up here. Grapevine is also waking up. There are 2 grape trees in here. They didn't do very well last year. The fruit didn't ripen, and I think a lot of the animals actually came and got them before us, but this has been here for a long time. This plot belongs to our neighbor, and it's just gonna do its thing again this year. But there is one exciting thing here on this side. Remember the potatoes that are planted on these buckets? Check this out. The moles have germinated too. I put this mesh in here to protect from the squirrels and from the birds, but look, there are sprouts kind of everywhere. This one has a lot. So does this one. When these potatoes grow a little more and get a few more inches tall, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna cover with more soil, maybe half of the way here, and then let them grow back again, and then I'm gonna add some mulch to see if I can save money with some soil that way. And I just wanted to make sure that they'll be nice and covered so the potatoes don't get exposed to the sun and turn green with time. I am getting ready to start planting some of the herbs and medicine garden a little bit later today, so I hope that turns out well. I'm very excited about it. This side here, actually I didn't talk, it's going to be all flowers, so I guess this will be an extra bed. I talked about the 6x4 beds that are all mounted in there. But this side all over here, I did add some compost too and lightly just mixed with the surface of the soil. But this side's kind of shady too. I decided to do all flowers to get kind of like a nice entrance to the garden. Last year I had lots of tomatillos in there, so I'm actually just hoping that a few of them pop up and volunteer. They're by the back there where that little metal thing is. So if they do, I'm gonna let them grow again and just stake them up with the flowers in the front so we can have some tomatillos. But I have not started in tomatillos yet, just waiting to see if they will show up. I'm planning to plant my tomatoes this week maybe, so the next time that we take a look at this plot, everything's going to be looking a lot more exciting. I'm planting other things other than tomatoes here too. I have some peppers that I want to put here, some eggplants, so a lot of warm weather crops. I have even ordered a little trellis that I don't know if it's gonna look good or not, but I wanted to kind of put in between one of these beds. I didn't have that last year, and I find it so pretty when I see in other gardeners' garden tours. So it's just a simple one, but I want to see if I can do a little arch in those first 2 beds and maybe plant some climbing things in there too. So stay tuned if you are curious to see how this blank canvas now is going to turn out into this summer. If you come back in about 2 to 3 months, this is going to be looking completely different. In June or July, this will be all overgrown with some good stuff. It's kind of cool to see the before and after too. That's why I wanted to make this video showing how it looks like before. It's a bit later in the day, and I'm actually going to go ahead and plant all of these herbs and flowers at the hot garden right now. So I'm thinking to do medicine, herbal garden kind of thing. So I'm going to plant some chamomile, some fennel, some feverfew, some calendula too. Calendula is supposed to be very good for your skin, and also put some herbs in there, some basil, some parsley that I have some extra, some cilantro too. So I'm just gonna go head back there and plant everything real quick. I'm actually not really worried about the spacing here. I'm planting them fairly close. I'm doing the chamomile first, and then I'm following with the calendula and the fennel. I think that I might put some different color calendula in there. I don't know yet, but I'm putting some feverfew at the end now and labeling everything, because you guys know I tend to forget when I label things. Now I'm basically just filling up the spaces on the other side. I had some leftover flowers and things on my tray, so I decided to just come here and plant it on this side. I didn't have much planned for this side here, so it's fine to just fill up with some things. This is what I have left from everything that I took out there to plant it. I also ended up planting some yarrow. I had a little tiny yarrow starting here that I put in there, and I still have some parsley left in here. I'm actually going to pot those and let them grow a little bit more, so when I harvest some of the lettuce from the green stock that I have up there on the porch, I can replenish with some herbs. I was actually just thinking about it while I was planting there. Very soon it's going to start getting really hot for a lot of this lettuce, so once I harvest all of this, I'm planning to actually fill up these spaces with some herbs that I use quite often for cooking. So I wanted to post the end of April garden tour, but I didn't have a chance to film the whole thing. It's already May, but it's okay. I'll start with the full garden tour soon. But this time last year I was already doing the full garden tours. That's why I kind of wanted to start to do one to compare for April. But last year I started a little bit too early. I think once it got later in the season, I was doing garden tour week 18 or something like this, and then just got kind of out of hand. So I decided that this year I'm gonna start a little later, since the plant's only gonna start growing a little faster when it gets warmer anyway. So I'll see if I'll start in May, but definitely I'll give a May update, a little garden tour with everything so you guys can see what's going on. I want to show the front yard garden. I haven't actually showed anything from the front yard this year yet, and all the garden tours last year were half the front yard, half the plot. So this year is more exciting to have added the backyard to the mix. I'm very excited that I have this south-facing space to garden now, and definitely have been spending a lot of time here. And I'll try to also be more attentive to the plot this year. Last year, since I kind of know what happened last year, I have a better idea of how things kind of work there. So hopefully this year we can manage everything well, and we'll have a very nice growing season with lots of harvest. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to like this video if you can, and I'll see you next time.